Well, in order to build a Ryzen system, you got to get an AM4 motherboard. So here it is. I got microATX AM4 motherboard, which is pretty hard to find right at the launch. Let's unbox this puppy. AM4 socket. Actually, I don't know why it says AB350 and on here it just says 350 chipset. I don't really know what's up with that, but whatever. So this seems like a pretty good motherboard. I can only find it on Newegg. Here's some stuff on the back of the box if you want to read all that crap. There's some good specs right here if you guys want to see all that good jolly stuff. I'll probably talk more about that whenever I'm actually looking at the motherboard. But yeah, there's some good stuff on here. Smart fan headers. I guess it has better audio. Has like that thing, like the LED trace, I guess. NVMe support, USB 3.1, blah, 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 stuff like that. VR ready, because that's very dependent on a motherboard, as we all know. Not. And then, yeah, not really too much else on the box, I don't really think. So let's open it up. And anything that says gaming is obviously better, right? Although, wait, isn't Ryzen terrible for gaming? Haha! Even though, you know, it's not as good as like a 7700K, but yeah, obviously it's not bad for gaming. It feels a little bit wider than other microATX motherboards I've had. Like it feels almost wider than it is long. But of course the microATX, I like the placement first off of these Pci Express slots. Of course, this is one you'll use for gaming, of course. Or for your graphics card, you know, or I guess for gaming. I like how they didn't put one slot here because it's always going to be filled up by, you know, the fact that all graphics cards are 2 slots for the most part. Then you actually do have another slot here, and then you have another X4 slot here. Looks like an X16 slot, but I think on the B350 chipset you can't really do much. I know for a fact I don't think you can do SLI, and I don't think Crossfire works. At least to the extent it was on like a X370. So for the most part, if you're getting this motherboard, you're probably just gonna have one GPU. If you want multiple GPUs, you probably want a full-size ATX, and you probably want X370 chipset. So yeah, there's a little overview of the motherboard really quick. In some lighting situations, it does kind of look brown. It seems like PCB kind of do that sometimes. But I guess keep that in mind if you have like a lot of light on it. If there's not much light on it, I think it looks mostly black, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and start off with the video, or well, I guess all the stuff where the I/O shield is and everything. So I like all the USB ports on this motherboard. As you can see, you get 8 total, which is really, really great. You get 2 USB 2.0, 4 USB 3.0, and then I think the red ones are USB 3.1. If I'm right about that, so hopefully I am. And then you got Gigabit Ethernet, you got some audio right here, HDMI, VGA, DVI, and then PS2 port for keyboard and mouse. So that's pretty awesome layout here. The only thing that I think is kind of useless is the videos, because I think it works if you're using a Ryzen APU on this motherboard. I'm pretty sure these will actually work, and they're probably very useful too, because if you have an APU, there's a good chance you're probably not using a GPU or a discrete graphics card. But if you're using like a regular Ryzen CPU, like the 1700 like I got, or like an 1800X or something like that, for as far as I know, they don't have integrated discrete GPUs on the CPU itself. So these are kind of useless, at least as far as I know. If you guys want me to do some testing later on, I can see if these videos work on like a 1700 like I have. If you guys want that testing, let me know in the comment section below, and I could do that for you guys. What else should we check on here first? You got an 8-pin up there right next to all that fun stuff, and you got a little bitty heatsink that's really probably not doing a heck of a lot, just hitting my camera and everything. But yeah, as you can kind of see, there's like not really like any fins on that heatsink, mostly just for aesthetic. I guess VRMs can handle a lot of heat, so it's really not too big of an issue, but something to keep in mind that there's not really much heatsink on there at all. So if you're doing extreme heavy overclocking, might not be incredibly advantageous. You got a CMOS battery there, really crazy stuff right there, cool. Here's the, I believe where the LCD, or the LED trace layout should be right there. So that's, I mean that'll look kind of cool as long as you don't have it covered up by a bunch of expansion cards. but that's kind of cool. I'm not sure if it really makes a big difference with audio, but you know, maybe. And then I guess the audio header right there is actually within that whole section, so hopefully it's also, I mean, I think the idea of that is to separate the traces so that it's not being interfered by the rest of the computer. Then we got the AM4 mounting, of course, and it looks like it's not terribly close to the RAM, so that's cool. I plan on using a Noctua NHD15 cooler on this, which is massive cooler. So I'll let you guys know in my testing if I have any issues with the spacing here. But it looks like it has fairly good spacing around the CPU mounting, so that's good to see. I like that. And of course, it comes stock with the AMD clip mount stuff. So if you have an AMD clip mount or something, or whatever CPU cooler that uses that, then you got that, or you can take it off, and it comes with the back plate, the standard back plate, so that's cool. Got the 4 DIMM slots here. I do like the color scheme. I mean, if you guys like black and red, that's kind of like the whole idea about this motherboard. Kind of a big reason I got it. Not the only reason, but it's a big reason. But yeah, some fun stuff there. It looks like, yep. Okay, I like that the DIMM slots actually do click down on both sides. On some motherboards, it only clicks down on one side. I'm not a big fan of that because I feel like it's harder to get it in the slot. But I like that it does that on this motherboard. I believe these DIMM slots can handle 3200 megahertz, which is actually the speed of the RAM I got. So we'll see how that works. And actually, I got RAM that has LEDs in it, in case you guys are wondering. So if you want to see me build this computer, watch out in maybe like a week after this video, maybe less than that, and I'll be building that computer. So yeah, cool stuff there. Got the 24 pin, kind of have to have that, and capacitors all over the place. Got a couple extra Sata ports after you got 4 Sata ports right there, so that's fun and jazzy. You got the chipset with a little bit of heatsink there. These heat sinks probably aren't really doing much. They're mostly for aesthetics, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they do look nice. I mean, I like the whole brushed aluminum look they got there, and it's somewhat minimalistic red designs here and there, so I kind of like that. But I mean, just looking from like a side view, like not much cooling going on there, I feel like. Ooh, front panel headers, oh snap diggity. Then you got a fan header. Actually, speaking of fan headers, let's go ahead and find all of them. So fan header right there, and then you got a fan header up here for the CPU, and then you got a system fan header over here next to the power input. Yeah, I believe those are all of them on this motherboard. So you got 3 of them. They're all 4 pins, I believe. Yep. Even the system fan header, which is pretty awesome actually. So if you're using like, you know, like, I think they can handle a pretty good amount of current. So they should work with any like fan splitter you have and stuff like that, which is really awesome actually. There's a USB 3.0 header, very cool there. I don't think there's a USB 3.1 header, but not many cases have USB 3.1 front panels anyway. You got 2 USB 2.0 headers, TPM, COM, COMA, LPT. I don't even know what these ones are for, honestly. I see them on all motherboards. If you guys actually know what those are, down below. I'm just too lazy to look them up, but what is TPM, COM, COMA? I don't know, but you got that stuff in case you need it. And I guess I've been putting off talking about this, but this thing right here is actually probably one of the most, maybe one of my most impressive things about this motherboard. That's an NVMe M.2 slot. I believe you can do it SATA as well, but NVMe, oh yeah. I got a 960 Evo Samsung NVMe drive. I'm very excited to use in there. Should be very quick speeds. I think it's like 32 gigabit per second, I think, which is gonna be super crazy quick. And then you got different spacings for, you know, the where the SSD would line up. I think on a lot of them they do go to this one right there though, so that's probably where they put the screw there. But that's pretty freaking awesome. And it's good spacing. I mean, it's right underneath the GPU, which kind of sucks, but it's kind of hard to find where to really put it. I mean, it seems like on most motherboards, it's either right here or right here. And on this one, it's going to be right next to the CPU, and this one, it's going to be right next to the GPU. So it's going to be kind of hot either way. At least I know MSI got really big crap about their heat shield, which apparently makes SSDs run hotter. This doesn't have a heat shield, which is cool, I guess. But I guess that's something to keep in mind. So I think I pretty well talked about everything on this motherboard. Of course, Pci Express Slot, I guess I didn't really talk about that, but it's fairly obvious. It's where the main graphics card is going to go. I guess if you can manage to use 2 like AMD graphics cards on this, you put one there and one there, of course. But this one's Pci Express ×4, so it's going to run significantly slower if you are able to run a second graphics card on this. And then you can run like a network card or USB header or something back there. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I like the expansion on this motherboard. For being microATX, it's actually really good. You have one great slot for a graphics card, one pretty good slot for like an expansion card, and then another expansion card. So that's actually pretty good expansion on a microATX board. So I like this board, Gigabyte. There's a reason why I picked this one over other motherboards. As you can see, not really too much going on the back side, but I figured I should show it anyway. But great job, Gigabyte. I like this motherboard a lot, so I'm excited to build the system. We'll see what else is in this box, but looks like a pretty cool motherboard. Looks like you get 2 SATA cables, one 90 degree and one not 90 degree, which is very typical of what you always get, I feel like. And then you get, oh, okay, you get more SATA cables. All right, you get, yeah, I think that's actually 4 total, I think. Wow, okay. So they give you a lot of SATA cables, that's cool. And they're blacked out, which is nice. You get the I/O shield, which is probably gonna be a pain in the ass to get in there. You get a user manual, oh snap. Oh, and a disk, that's good, because driver disks on motherboards are actually very helpful. And then you get a Gigabyte gaming sticker, so cool. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this motherboard unboxing. Hopefully I covered everything, but if you have any questions about it, leave it in the comment section below. Of course, not really a review. Once I build the system, if you guys want me to review this motherboard, I can. But just wanted to show you guys a close-up of it right off the bat, because this motherboard has been kind of hard to get ever since Ryzen came out. microATX kind of seems like it's on the back burner for Ryzen boards. But I wanted to build a smaller Ryzen system because I don't really need all that expansion. Especially with this motherboard, you still get really good expansion with a smaller motherboard, and you still have M.2 NVMe. You still have a pretty good looking board and stuff like that. So that's why I picked up this board. So thank you guys for watching this video. Drop a like on it if you thought it was cool or helpful. And if you guys could subscribe to the channel too if you want to see technology in the future. I'll probably have like a time lapse of me building this computer, so if you want to see that, watch out for my channel in the near future. I'll see you guys later.